Hi there. Thanks for streaming this episode. Today I want to talk about the power of money. And I know that almost all of you must have experienced this power in one or the other form. To be honest, I'm fascinated with the concept of money. I can imagine that initially the concept of money was to keep tabs on how much other people owes you or owes someone. So it started more as a debt record where if someone owes you, I don't know, maybe 5 bags of grain, you could get like 5 stones in front of their name, and that kind of implies that they own you 5 bags of grain. And it could be something different as well. I bet they used to have different stones for different materials, or maybe the barter system evolved out of it, where people ran out of uh, unique items because stones, if you haven't noticed, is everywhere. So it's easier to just add more stones. So regardless of that, the concept of money gravitated from some sort of naturalistic object to a barter system, and over time it evolved with our current monetary system. And metals did play really important role because not everyone can afford metal, and on top of that, the symbols printed on the metal kind of signifies that the piece of metal or a coin has some value. I'm fascinated because the money sort of corrupts people, and corruption and power a lot of times goes hand in hand. And that's why we could actually see the corruption in power uh, in almost every country, because wherever there is politics, there is money. And that's why the golden rule to figure out the core intention of a particular uh, party or of a particular person in power, I guess, is to trace the money. Always trace the money. And it could give you an insight of who is in control, who is actually in power. And for instance, we can see that in the United States, there are two parties, and both parties are corrupted to different degrees. But nevertheless, both have ingrown corruption within the party. And you could observe who all are contributing to this corruption, meaning like where are these parties getting their funding from. Granted, at least in the past couple of election cycle, there've been new candidates who were directly reaching out to the grassroots movement, and was able to motivate people to contribute for their campaign. And I believe that's how it's supposed to be, or it should be, because that means that people are contributing towards the candidate or the cause they actually believe in, rather than how the modern politics work, where a company can legally or illegally or through thousands of other loopholes can fund a particular party. And once that party comes in power, they get, I don't know, maybe 100 times of their ROI. And like I said, it's not prominent in one particular party, it's both parties in the United States. And that's true for other countries too, especially I can speak for India. And if you observe the political system in India, it's far more chaotic. When I, Even though it's far more chaotic, it could still be bubbled down to money and power. So come on. And I say that the Indian and I say that the Indian system, democratic system, is far more chaotic because there are more parties, and there are so many regional parties. And on top of that, you notice that there are coalitions between different parties during elections because, they want to rule. And if people don't give any specific party a vast majority, they end up working with different parties. And there is good and bad about that. The good part of that is then you have uh, different sectors or different sections of people contributing into democracy. So government can't take any action unless they have all the other parties on board, or at least the coalition parties on board. But the bad side of that is every coalition party hold that power, and they tend to use or misuse that power to benefit them. That's again goes back to the corruption, the personal corruption, and it's a toxic cycle. And growing in India, I was so much fascinated with how the politics work there, and also was trying to understand what I could do to make the system better. Believe it or not, I never thought that I would leave India. But, you know, things happen, I guess, and one thing led to the other. And now I'm in the United States for over a decade. But coming back to the power and money, in the current system where money actually rules, that's why everything is gravitated towards money. In some of the traditional system, the money doesn't held that much power. The old system was based on status, meaning if you are born into a royal family, then you have a higher status. Likewise, in India, if you're born into higher caste, then you have higher status, and people with higher status have more power. And as you can imagine, people with more power started misusing that power and mistreating the people who have, say, classified as lower caste or, regular people. I'm glad that that system is out, and honestly, the new system did create this bridge between the lower caste and the upper caste in India, and the normal people and the royal families, because now anyone who could add value to the society and, say, accumulate or gain wealth or money could qualify and move between the lowest class to the highest class. And that's the beauty of money, which helped so many people to lift up their life and empowered them to actually live a quality life. But in today's world, this monetary system is eating itself. And it's very clear because if you look at the division between the haves and have not, it's the widest in very long time. And eventually this all gonna crumble down, and I don't know if that's gonna happen in my lifetime. I hope not. But at the same time, I feel that we, in the sense, everyone who can actively do something, are in such a great position to create an alternate system which takes all the good thing from the status systems and the monetary system. But like I said last week, this money should be earned. If someone just handed it out to you, or if you became lucky all of a sudden and got, I don't know, maybe $1 million, the chances are you will lose most of that money as quickly as you got. To wrap this up, I truly believe that money is a very powerful tool, and you could invest the money to empower yourself, or you could end up spending money which disempower you. The choice is entirely yours. Peace out.